Mason pot, baby.
Let's go. Let's do it. Hey, what is happening today? Welcome to the Mason Pot family. Craft Infusions Elevated here with my sister Emily.
How's it going? Emily here.
First time you seeing all this, right? I know we've been talking about it. Emily's like, I'm gonna come out, help you get some cool shots for the website, some good photos and videos. So what do you think of the setup?
So I love it. I love this old school style. I mean, it's just like, I just want to take this, pack it up, and bring it with me everywhere I go. I love your color choices and, becoming a little homesteader and using my mason jars.
Ooh, let's catch it already.
Using my mason jars. I'm so excited to learn a little bit more about mason pot here because I definitely think it's something that I can use all the time. So
for sure, yeah, tons of versatility. A lot of different elements. And you've never infused before, right? Or have? Yeah, okay. So yeah, we'll walk through it. We got some cool stuff here. So I'll just go through a quick little spiel here.
Cool.
So this is the main base here that you'll put your herbs or whatever you want to infuse in there.
Okay.
So you'll do that. Put it in the oven.
It up here?
Yeah, feel free.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this here is the main base you're saying. All
yeah.
Right.
So you can. So it has a hole right there that we custom made, so you can pull the thermometer right out.
Oh wow.
And then you can just like a classic, and then you fill it up in there, little hole on the side so you can see what you're infusing. Just a nice little thing, especially if you're working with concentrates and stuff like that. So you fill it up with whatever you're infusing. Throw the lid back on. If you're using herb and you want to decarb it, you put it in the oven first. And that's why the thermometer is here. Everybody's ovens, or you could be using a stovetop or a crock pot. They all have varying temperatures.
Okay.
So we were over at Amy's place yesterday, and hers ran really cold, 20, 30 degrees colder when we were dialing it in with the thermometer. So that's the reason for that, so you can see what the exact temperature is inside the jar.
That's super helpful, because it's not just a specific, put it in for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
It's this can be custom to you, which
exactly.
is really cool.
So it's put it in 240 degrees for 40 minutes, say.
Yeah.
And then you realize actually I need to put my oven at 260 to kind of hit that mark. But it's cool to play with it. And the thing is too, once you dial it in, you kind of know your oven. And even for other stuff you're cooking, it's just good to know. And that's kind of the whole concept here, that everything can be used for and reused for other elements. Like this jar, you can make all-in-one coffee, all-in-one infusions. You could use this strainer for other things. We got the press component here that goes with, this is probably my favorite piece of everything here, along with the jar, is the mason puck.
Can we open this up and
Yeah. So feel free to unscrew that.
This strainer, by the way, is so fine.
Yeah,
which is amazing.
Yeah, we wanted to go extra fine so you can.
Wow.
And that's what there's a lot of other infusers in the game, but a lot of them don't think of the extra strain afterwards. So want to try to get the purest. So we did this puck. My brother Reed helped customize it with the holes, honing it in, putting some extra work in on it. So what happens here is when your infusion's done, you just drop the puck in, and then you put this press on top, and so you can get every last drop of that liquid gold in there. And then you dump it through the strainer in your other jar. And we played with, there's so many different variations we did with this press piece. We initially had a different one. We had 3 different concepts before this. We then had this attached. We did a bolt through, then welded it. But after using it separated, I realized it was better because at the end, this just pulls out and the puck kind of falls out. And it just allows for, again, more versatility. And I'm excited to see what stuff people come up with. It's gonna be I don't know, I might do some type of I want to figure out something fun to do where it's people share what they're making with it, just new stuff. I never would have thought of that. Reed's been making a ton of coffee with it.
That's so cool.
That's what inspired me on the coffee grind.
Love it.
And then everything kind of the goal too was even with the box is to make everything again sustainable, reusable, and just high quality. This is never gonna break on you. I mean, if you drop the jar, actually I did the other day with the sleeve on, it didn't break.
Nice.
but that being said, you just buy a new jar.
Yeah.
It's go to any store really and just make sure it's a wide mouth jar and you're good.
Yeah,
so
that's so true.
So that's also part of the goal there. And then of course, last but not least, which I've just done a couple infusion videos since I've gotten this, it's super clutch. And the goal with that was after you're done, having a dedicated towel, because sometimes whatever you're infusing, whether it's cannabis, other herbs, it's going to have some oil substance or butter there a lot of times. So that's why I went with brown too, just clean it up, have it right there, put it all right back in one place in the box if you like. Use the box for something else. Yeah. And even that's where too, versatility with like this is like a magnet on here. So you can take it off, put it on, like just little things like that. And then when you pop it open, there's a QR code, full breakdown of like all the instructions, like really in depth. So yeah, I mean,
that's really cool.
I feel like I'm ranting over here.
No, I'm getting all the information here because I've been so excited to do this, and I'm like, I'm going to like do this mason pot. It's so sick. I can't wait to use this product and help my brother out. But they're asking me questions. I'm like, I got to get some more information because Jack knows what he's talking about. And so I'm like, I know this is the real deal because you've been in the industry. You know what you're doing. Like, this is so exciting. So I'm really, really pumped about it. And I think it's so cool that like, I'm like, oh, I can just like go over to my friend's house, pack up my little box and like head over and let's infuse some stuff tonight. You know what I mean?
I was like cracking a joke with my buddy that's been using like a prototype. I'm like, don't be mad when all your friends start coming to you for your infusions and edibles and stuff, you know?
Right?
But it's fun. It's like, it's a nice, it's just a nice way to make it all happen. And like what you were saying too is that's why this came about is like, I'm like, I love just using the mason jar in general.
Yeah.
So I'm like, how can we really elevate this, make this classic infusion method like prime time? And that's what this is. I'm like, what would I actually want to use? And this is how the mason pot came about. Yeah. You know, it was like, and it's simple, you know, but that's the beauty of it too. Yeah. Is the simplicity.
I feel like it's simple, it's straightforward, and it's like no BS. You know what I mean? And like, there are some really intimidating things out there that I feel like are very high price point that you're like, is this really worth it? And then now you can look at this and you're like, this is actually all I need to make some amazing stuff.
For real.
You created it, which is like so sick. It's so awesome. I mean, like, it's...
And like to your point there too, like when you buy this, like with the detailed instructions, all that, like you can count on consistent content, cool recipes. Like it's not like you're just going to buy it and be like, oh, what do I do? It's like, oh, you just go watch some of the content, pull up the manual online, and you'll be good to go off your first infusion. Like, you know, that's the beauty of infusions in general too, is it can seem so complicated and intimidating at first. Like I remember I was like, what is this? I'm putting this in oil, I'm decarbing it. What's decarbing? Like all these little things that seem intimidating. And my goal is to like break it down to simple, but also, you know, I can talk about it all day.
Yeah. And you're not like, here's my product, like, figure it out. You're like, here's my product. I'm going to show you exactly what you need to do here. And all of the ideas across the board. Like you're saying, people, who knows what they're going to make with it already. And that's even cooler because they buy the product, they're making something, and then they can be like, oh shit, look what else I can make here. So that's awesome. That's really cool.
And that's where too, another versatility element I haven't mentioned at all yet, which is really cool, is you could do several batches at the same time, like a potency hack. So you could have, and the sleeves will be sold separately too. So you can buy those for, you know, haven't discussed the exact price point yet, but you can buy those sleeves separately, and you can just have you could have 4 different jars, 5, however many you can fit in your oven or crock pot or whatever. So you could have like maybe 2 strains here, a different strain here, butter, oil, coconut oil, and you can do it all in one batch in these different jars, and all you need is the one thermometer, you know. So it's just a nice way to also provide more versatility again.
That's really cool. Yeah. So I actually have a question for you, because when people have been asking me questions, I'm like, I'm going to find out from Jack. I know he can talk to me all day and really give me the down low of it all. So what are a few things that, like, I just bought this and I'm like, all right, what am I going to infuse? Like you said, you mentioned butter, oil. Like what are some of the main things you would first recommend?
Yeah. My go-to is coconut oil or MCT oil. And then butter is great. I just like been cutting back a little on butter lately, but the coconut oil is super versatile because you can just throw it in like anything really. Smoothie, mix it and stuff. We're gonna have some really cool recipes. Check those out as well. Okay. So like, but my go-to, I infuse probably 90% of the time is coconut oil. But I do love the butter. Yeah. I'm just kind of really feeling the coconut oil. Because what I do too, it kind of grosses some people out, to be real with you, is like I have my finished coconut oil and I'll just take a spoon, like a teaspoon or tablespoon, just eat it like that. I don't mind it. It surprises some people, but it's like such a clean way, and you have full control, and you know what was in your infusion, you know that you made it. And then I have several videos too on how to find out how strong your stuff is, so feel free to watch those, you know.
And it's so cost effective. I mean, as opposed to going in and getting a little, you know, pre-made 10 edibles or whatever that is. Now you just have your own, like you're saying, it's clean. You literally just made it yourself.
Well, that's what I was telling Amy yesterday, and for you guys too, like, so say you went to the dispensary and bought a half ounce, or let's just, half ounce. and it was like 25% potency, you're going to have, I'm trying to do this mentally, this is really hard, you're going to have like 5,400 or 5,000 milligrams of cannabinoids in there.
Oh, wow.
Right? So that might not all be in the infusion, but a lot of it would. So you can, and that's like, say I was $110 yesterday when I got that. So if you do the math, 5,000 milligrams. You know, and most edibles are 100 milligrams,
Exactly.
like 20, 30.
Exactly.
So yeah, you can do that. You can get really granule too. You can do like a little scoop, especially if you're doing MCT oil in a tincture bottle too. We have that recipe as well. You can just pull it out, do a couple drops and whatever under the tongue, just really figuring it out. And yeah, anything in here too, like, of course, cannabis, herbs, like CBD, any of that stuff, but also just like fun other recipes. You can do like rosemary infused butter, garlic butter. You can also add that to your butter infusions. That's why butter is cool too. You can really like, do it. Rosemary is such like a cover up and nice flavor too. I really love rosemary too on like a steak. So it's nice to do like a rosemary garlic butter, finish that up, maybe cook a steak up and spread a little on there. Yeah. Also another little thing that you might not know is like fatty food. If you eat fatty food before or even with your consumption, it's going to increase the effects or the absorption.
And I've started making my own sourdough, so I'm picturing a fresh slice of sourdough, put a little butter on there.
Yeah, it's so crazy how your infusions are so versatile. So yeah, if you just had, and that's what I do with the coconut oils, keep it there, do whatever, but you can do anything with it. The world's your oyster here. Wow. And and we'll go through more in like instructional videos, but that's like just a fun little time. I'm happy you saw it, and I hope you guys like this. We're just, as you can tell, off the cuff, having fun with it. Yeah. That's the most important thing I want to say too. Last thing is try to have as much fun as possible and always like be open to learning. I try new things all the time. Some of them don't work out. I'll mess with different temperatures, but that's part of the fun to me, is knowing that I can always switch it up. I can always do something different. I can always make a new recipe. But that's just kind of the motto too of Mason Pot Family, is just like have fun, do your thing, and just create some craft quality infusions.
Yeah, let yourself explore. Like you're saying, take the pressure off. It's like you make it a creative process too.
Because like I said, I've been there. I was like, oh, this is stressful, like you're saying. So no stress. You get the Mason Pot, grab that, and we'll just come follow us online, join the fam, and we're here for you, 100% of the way.
Yeah, we are.
Nice. You would have killed.